Hey, Wagwan. This is Dutch. Welcome to my channel, Artwork by Dutch. I am the ADHD artist, and I just realized that all this week of I'm not looking so great here. I need a nice fade and everything else going on, sprucing up the hair. As my daughter says, "What hair?" Um, I digress. Basically, I realized that I had the wrong mic on. So I was always going through my webcam rather than through this mic. So hopefully that'll make some difference when I go drive over to my desk. And we start to ink today's from Arcane. I know it's League of Legends, I believe, but I really wasn't an LOL player, not much. And Arcane, Jinx. And I think the image I used is actually one from their book, but it could also be a cosplayer, and I'm sorry I don't have the cosplayer their information. So if you haven't recognized the pose, I think I saw it on Instagram. I'm trying to find it. Let me know so I can drop and credit the cosplayer, model, give them their due props. But it just inspired me. I was actually how I always start things. I always start drawing. Use the Riley method, so I draw a circle and then start drawing a pose, and all of a sudden I look over my Instagram or Pinterest and start to see what captures my eye. What pose captures my eye and what character. But this time the actual two came together all at once. It usually doesn't happen that way because you can't always find the model that matches the pose that you want to do. So again, all the links to my beacons. You can get the equipment, tools I buy, that I use, through my affiliate link. Any assistance is greatly appreciated and helpful. Helps keep this ADHD artist going and being able to pay for his bills and keep the lights on. Excuse me. And I always again start off with some ADHD tips, or at least what's going on that most of us feel, and that is it just came to me, masking. It took me a long time. I got diagnosed as an ADHD individual, a neurodivergent, a long time ago, early 2000s, and that was like my story yesterday with body doubling. Came about because I was turning in things late, and knowing that helped, and I used the medication. Unfortunately, it killed the creative side of me, which prevented me from drawing next to the low self-esteem. And when I did get NLP help, the NLP therapist thought maybe I wasn't ADHD. So it put a doubt in my mind that maybe I'm not actually ADHD. And I ended up starting to mask. Basically, masking is when you're around other people, depending on the conversation, the group of people, you have a mask. You pretend to be this person to fit their narrative, not your narrative. So I masked for quite some time. And it wasn't until the last 2 years that I realized I was masking and trying to make them. And that's because I'm a empathetic person. And so I empathize with what they're going and they're feeling, and trying to make them comfortable. And that's something we tend to do. We tend to want to make them comfortable. So we don't want to speak, or we want to sound like we're fitting in with the group. And it's really a disservice to ourselves, because when we're ourselves, we're fantastic. When you find another ADHD individual that's just like you, it's like, where have you been all my life? It's like I've known that person my entire life, and you just feel comfortable around them. And that goes too with creativity. As an artist as well, a lot of you probably think you're introverts, and you might actually be, but like I said before in my previous streams, we're creative. We vomit creativity, and at the end of the day, when you're going out to be forced with your significant other or whomever to socialize, all that energy has been expent, either being creative at work, try to solve a problem, or if you are an artist, creative doing this. and it makes us look like we're introverted or shy. And it's the opposite, because when I'm at a con, I'm not doing anything creative at all day. I'm sitting there or standing, trying to sell my comics, my art, get commissions, etc. And I can talk, nonstop, because again, that energy's got to go somewhere, and so it's going towards the hustle. And it's the opposite when I'm creative all day and at home and working. Unless, of course, it's Doctor Who people, then that's a totally different story. Doctor Who anime, things of interest, then we tend to open up. So understand if you're masking. I'm trying to right now come up with t-shirts or stickers, something that might actually help us with the mood. So it actually tells the other person or group that you're with that I'm, like a green level, and I'm okay to talk to today, or whatever color, I'm really nervous. I don't want to be here. I'm being put in a situation I don't feel comfortable in, and I don't want to mask. But if I say something, I might make my significant other look stupid, ridiculous for having this person, or I might make myself look ridiculous. So I'm trying to think of something that would work, and I'm I'll let you know more about that as it goes along. But there's definitely some other artists, not artists, but other people I've been watching on YouTube that have kind of been helpful. So I'll try to link that information as well at the end. But we're not here to talk just about that only. I want you to show that as an ADHD individual who's creative, and you are too, not to give up. Keep pushing yourself and press on. So let's drive over to my desk and let's get started with Jinx. All right, here's Jinx. I really do like making the car driving noise. It's ridiculous, I know. But this is the pose, and I think we've got some okay lighting here. It's getting darker now here in Arizona. So everything's changing. I'm using, again, this, I have it linked, but this is a great one. And I'm thinking because of, if you've seen Arcane on Netflix, it's fantastic. So I might even use the brush pen just to create some unique shapes. Again, I'm pretty traditional in how I want to do things. So I'm pushing myself and experimenting. So it could either go right or wrong. So some things here too, I have these guides in where I want the shadows. Those I'm not going to ink. Those are there for when I go to color this with the Ohuhu and Copic markers to help me know where my lighting is and how I want that shaded. So this is day 5 of Dutchtober. Again, Dutchtober, there's no list. It's just, these are things I just started drawing prior to Inktober. There were actually things I was just going to sell, just little knickknacks, nothing too in depth. But then when it came up, I'm like, well, I have all this artwork just sitting here. May as well kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Or as if you've seen Star Trek, they're doing for the anniversary a funny little shorts. So there's more than one way to skin a cat, and it's paying homage to the classic animated series of Star Trek. So if you ever get a chance to see it on YouTube, I'd highly recommend checking it out, because one of the bridge officers, she's a cat. She's a feline. And so she takes offense to Kirk saying that. And it's kind of funny. So I'm going to have to unfortunately stick my head in here, because I want to catch this line. One day I'm hoping I'll be able to move up to a brush. Not just a brush pen, but maybe the brush pen might be a good start. One inker I'm waiting to see if she ever does a how-to would be Rachel Dodson. Her husband Terry Dodson does, right now I think he's doing the cover art to Fire and Ice for DC, but she oftentimes will post images of or videos of his art while she's inking it. And she's using the traditional methods brush, and it's just like having that control with a brush and how to get it done. I mean, I know it's years of experience and everything. But wow, it's just amazing to watch her. I do apologize if my head is going in there. Trying to not stick it in there. Camera shot. And a lot of things I'll save for later, like putting in the thicker eyelashes. So using the Hoo markers is a new challenge for me because I am not used to coloring with skin color, skin tones. So right now I'm kind of excited because today we've got a lot of things to watch for me, which is going to interrupt my flat color work. I've got, let's see, we've got the new season of Loki that just came out today. I think they're doing the 2 episodes. It's usually what Disney does. And then Lupin on Netflix. Right now I'm watching part 2 of the first season. I'm a big Lupin fan and the original Arcane Lupin. And what else? We've got Lower Decks. So a lot of things to do. Probably getting another late night for me tonight. So if you're a comic creator, indie comic artist, or professional, need a flat colorist, please reach out to me. I am available. No client's too big. No fee is too large that I won't accept. I'm trying to remember what they said in Ghostbusters. So my circles are almost perfect. When you're doing the Riley head method, you're definitely doing a lot of circles and practicing how to do them. So again, I'm going through doing the initial thin lines and then go back over and think about the line weight. I know Steve Rude just put a video out about line weight today for before his Kickstarter begins, so I'm gonna have to check that out. So a lot of the things I left in the face, like these lines, I'm thinking those might be also guides for when I'm coloring it. I did say I was going to use the brush part of this, but I did not do that. Let's see. I'm doing that because if you've seen the Arcane, it's got unusual. It's kind of like the TMNT and Spider-Verse kind of feel, or I shouldn't say feel, because they are going outside in of normal animation. So certain areas are thicker than others, and I've seen artists do it like this, where they put their finger on and use that to create a this motion. But I'm gonna get up close and personal. Kind of like that Demon Slayer look, where it's some lines are thick, some are jagged. I'm doing that because I want to get used to, like I mentioned earlier, to getting used to doing a brush. So if I go fully on it, it's going to get a lot thicker. This is one I definitely didn't rotate the paper a lot. since the pose is pretty much straight up and down. Now that I mentioned that, let's rotate this. All right. There we go. There's Jinx. Quickly sign this. And we will call that day 5 inking. Reason why I'm not going any further is because, again, I'm thinking of this as a colorist. I'm going to do this with the markers and make that pop out. And then go back over it later. Because if I put too much, in my experience when I've done this stuff, is if I put too much in for inking, sometimes the ink may smear when you color it and kind of ruin a piece, to me at least. And I try to figure out how to hide it. So I'm going to let this dry, and you know, again, I'll be posting this on Instagram along with the other ones, and they'll be available at the end of the month. So if anybody's interested, please reach out, or I'll have them in my store and you can get them there. But again, I'm going to try to aim for 402 every day. So just for about a half hour. None of the drawings are too complex. I think the complex one I did was the Chainsaw Man, but everything else is pretty much just characters, lone characters on there. I might have one with my main character and her familiar Moko on there, Amiya. But thanks again, everybody, for stopping by day 5. Again, everything can be found down below in my beacons in the description. And see you guys here tomorrow for day 6. I'll randomly choose one of the drawings I have downstairs, and hopefully it'll be one of my characters or my character, and we'll get that done. And thank you for those who joined and are watching. Remember, to those who come back and watch this later, to like, subscribe, and comment down below. And I will, let you guys take it from Shia LaBeouf.
Do it! Just do it!
Hear the man. Like, subscribe, and comment down below. I will talk to you guys later. And thank you for joining. I'll be here tomorrow.